Do you want to lay your roots down in a place that is going to give you more than just a city and more than just a place to call home, but it actually is a place where you can lay your foundation of faith, family, legacy, and purpose? Well, in this video today, I am going to be sharing with you why I believe that Kansas City is a fantastic city to consider purchasing a home and moving into this location. And it's not just a place to have a house. It is a place where community and faith thrive, and I am going to be showing you why. Hi, I'm Anita Cordell, and I'm not just a real estate agent here in Kansas City. I'm also a Bible-believing, church-going pastor's kid. And the reason why I say all of that is because so many of my clients appreciate the fact that I am a woman of faith and I bring faith into the real estate transaction. And that is what I wanted to share with you today. My YouTube channel has always been about Kansas City and what it's like to live here, work here, play here, sleep here, and all the things. But I also wanted to share with you how that I also bring faith into the mix. Now, when I shared with you that I am a pastor's kid, I wanted to also share with you that I understand what it's like to move to a new location. And when we were growing up, my father would help with various churches, and so by the time I was in second grade, I had moved multiple times. We've lived in Oklahoma, New Mexico, Denver, Colorado, Leavenworth, Kansas, and various locations in those cities. Now, while I understand what it's like to move, I understand where it's important to put some roots down, especially if you are a Bible believer. So let's take some notes, and don't worry, there's not going to be a quiz at the end unless you want to be graded on the barbecue here in Kansas City. And then, well, priorities, right? All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the community at large. Now, did you know that there's over 2,700 religious organizations, faith-based ministries here in the Kansas City area? And when I say that, I appreciate the fact that there's so many, because the reality of it is Kansas City only has about 2.3-ish million people in it. And with that amount of faith-based organizations, it shows that the community at large is very rich in faith and family and purpose. So between all of the churches and all the Bible studies and all the ministry, I think it's safe to say that you could probably have a Bible study or some kind of organization that you go to multiple times every single day. And the reality of it is your calendar might need a Sabbath. Honestly, if you were going to pick up a rock and throw it, now please don't do that, you would probably hit a church, a Chick-fil-A, or you'd probably hit somebody who's willing to pray for you. Now, when I'm talking also about faith organizations, there are so many around, and they're great. A lot of great places to go. In fact, I am connected with multiple churches around the metropolitan area just by being a pastor's kid. I've gotten to know a lot of the pastors around town. And so if you have any questions about it, let me know and I can help you along the way. But also too, what is really exciting is that there's also a lot of private Christian schools in the Kansas City metropolitan area, as well as homeschool co-ops. I have experience with both. My oldest daughter graduated from a Christian school called Maranatha Academy. That's where she went most of her life. There's a wide age range between her and my second child. And my second and third child actually had experience in another Christian school called Summit Christian Academy, but they didn't start going until about high school. I homeschooled most of their life growing up. And so when I'm talking about some of these private Christian schools and homeschool co-ops, I actually have experience with them. Back about 8 years ago, we decided to purchase a family property, and we moved from the Kansas side to the Missouri side. And so I have experience in both these states and the experiences of different private schools as well as homeschool co-ops. So ask me away. When you're talking about homeschool co-ops, there's one that we attended. It's called Discovery Homeschool Academy. And there was only one location when we were homeschooling. And now there's multiple locations. It just shows that the community here in Kansas City is growing when it comes to faith and homeschool and the community at large. And there's also organized activities that happen. And the homeschool community as well as the faith-based community is growing. And I really like the things that people stand for here. So if you're wanting a full list of all of the private schools here in Kansas City, including the homeschool co-ops, be sure and reach out to me because I can send that over to you. There's also community-driven ministries where you and your family can get involved. There's the hospice organization, there's a lot of homeless organizations that you can go and serve. There's Habitat for Humanity, and here in Kansas City, serving is one thing that I believe is a common thread around a lot of the churches that are here. There's a lot of community-driven activities that provide ways for families to work together and to serve together. And when I'm talking about families and serving together, Kansas City overall is ranked very high when it comes to moving your families. And in fact, there's one city in the metropolitan area that is ranked number 2 in all the cities across America that were gauged on happiness, and that's Overland Park, Kansas. Overland Park, Kansas has recently been ranked number 2 as the second happiest city in all of America. And they rank that based upon lifestyle, family, activities, income, and community overall. And not only that, but it's also ranked in the top 10 cities overall across America to raise a family. Then there's also Parkville, Missouri, which is also ranked very high when it comes to schools and activities there. In fact, some people call Parkville, Missouri as the hallmark city of the whole state of Missouri. Overall, our city is wonderful. There's a lot of Christian organizations. There's Christian festivities. There's great concerts that come here. There's sports, there's museums, and there's all kinds of things that will shine light on the Bible and a faith lifestyle. And when I'm talking about family and lifestyle, seriously, if you have kids, good news, because there's more parks, there's more museums, there's more stuff to do here in the Kansas City metropolitan area, and your kids will literally never say they're bored. In fact, I have actually done one whole video on just highlighting the splash pads here in Kansas City because there's so many of them. So if you are feeling led to come to Kansas City, go ahead and drop a note on the comments below. I want to hear what your plans are and where you're at and in the process of it and what you're thinking of doing, because ultimately, I would hope that you would want a Bible-believing real estate agent to help you along the way. And if you want to go ahead and start the process of talking, go ahead. There's a Calendly link down in my description below. You can hit that link and it goes right to my calendar, and then we can discuss what your real estate goals are, whether that is 9 days or in a year. We can discuss what that is. Now, another reason why I think that Kansas City is a fantastic place to lay your roots down, especially if you are a Bible believer, is the fact that the Bible talks a lot about stewardship. And Kansas City, honestly, is one of the most affordable cities that I know of. And I know a lot of agents across the country, and Kansas City is below the average price when it comes to affordability. The average sales price right now is about $400,000. Now, I am sitting in a subdivision called Deer Run. It's in Blue Springs, and this average sales price in this subdivision is about $485,000. So you can see that you can get a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home for right around that price point. This subdivision is a little bit higher than the average sales price, and you can see how large these homes are. So the average sales price, you can easily get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that sits on a great city lot with a finished basement. Some of them have fenced-in backyards for your kiddos. A lot of these properties are in an HOA, which, you know, sometimes there's swimming pools, sometimes there's near a pool, but you can see the average sales price. You can literally get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home for less than $300,000 to $350,000. Let's be honest, in some cities, $300,000 will only get you a cardboard box and a good luck balloon. But here in Kansas City, it buys you a real home, a real place, a roof, walls, and everything in between. So if you're ready to chat, comment below or click on that link in the description and we can set up an appointment on my calendar and start the discussion. Now let's talk about careers. There are so many jobs coming here to Kansas City, and a lot of them are in the faith arena. There's churches currently looking for pastors. There's ministries looking for leaders. There's great organizations that are founded by faith looking for great employees. And you know what? If that is not necessarily what you're looking for, most likely you're going to work in an organization and an atmosphere that you're surrounded by Bible believers as well. There's also great ministries that you can be a part of. I'm part of a ministry called the Barnabas Group. And the Barnabas Group is all about entrepreneurs and business owners who are founded by faith, and they actually help the community at large here in Kansas City. And so business owners, executives, vice presidents, presidents, they all pull together their resources and help small businesses and small ministries grow. And there's not that many cities that have the Barnabas Group or something similar to the Barnabas Group across America. I only know of about 5. And so I'm proud to say that that is here in Kansas City. And if you want to know more information about that, let me know. The other thing is people really do want to support entrepreneurs who are Bible believers. And if you are a small business owner and you are looking to grow your business, Kansas City is a great place to consider. The reality of it is, if you have a dream and a halfway good idea, then somebody's going to hand you a flyer and invite you to a networking event along the way. And as far as churches and the spirit here, there's so many people that love to connect on a faith-based level. And that leads me to Midwest kindness and charm. Now, I know that every single city has challenges along the way. Every single city has levels of crime, levels of challenges, and I'm not negating any of that. I know that Kansas City has its own challenges, and the metropolitan area is growing in some areas. But let me just tell you, Kansas City has an overall spirit of kindness, that Midwest charm that I absolutely love. And yes, you're going to find people that don't always comply with that, but there's this Midwestern hospitality that meets kingdom living that you will find here. There's so many people in this city that value community, they value relationships, they value faith, and they value purpose. It's just a matter of where are you going to find your people at, and I can certainly help with that. I'm telling you, Midwest manners are a thing. People here wave with all 5 fingers. It's true. Well, except for on those days where I talk about the zipper method. I've talked about this on other YouTube videos where people literally lose their mind if you do not comply their way with the zipper method. And so watch the traffic, because that's like the one thing that people get a little hyper about is the zipper method. And people don't like merging, and they don't like seeing other people merge in the zipper method. But I'm telling you, MoDOT actually encourages it, and so just FYI on that. Sometimes drivers get a little testy. So I just wanted to encourage you, because faith is one of those things where when you are home searching and looking for that next place to live, I know that buying a home is not just a financial decision, it is a spiritual one, because you want to make sure that you are buying the property that God wants you to buy. And it's not about just laying your roots down and hoping that it's the right place. It's about inviting God into that decision and allowing Him to lead the way. Sometimes you might think that, oh my goodness, my move is not going to be forever. I mean, 6 months seems so long. Trust me, I've been there. Because actually God may say, wait 6 months. Ask me how I know. This is part of the journey of it, because I totally understand. When we're talking about buying a home, I'll tell you my personal story. We had purchased our first home, me and my husband, back decades ago. And we had just gotten married, and when we were walking through the process of buying a home, I was falling in love with every single house that was there. I was falling in love with every style, every floor plan. I loved them all. And my husband was not on the same page with me. In fact, he was taking his own sweet time. And at one point I just said, you know what? I'm done. I am tired of falling in love with all these houses. And it was like God was saying, just go one more time. And we went one more time, and the house that we purchased and stayed in for almost 20 years was that next house that we looked at. So I understand that when God says, you might have to wait a few months to find your home, literally it was 6 months, and I was so ready to give up, and yet I didn't, and I'm so glad that I didn't. So I'm inviting you to let me walk in on this journey with you. I know that God's purpose is for you, and that's what I want for your life. So if you're feeling like you are being led to purchase a home here in Kansas City and you want to lay your roots down, or you're considering moving here to Kansas City, then I'm inviting you to reach out to me, because I want to be on this exciting journey with you. So I hope that you can see that Kansas City is not just a city on the map. It's a place where God can plant you, grow you, and use you for His kingdom. So whether you are ready to move next month or next year and you are scrolling Zillow at midnight, hey, no judgment. I'm ready for you. And there you have it. Those are my reasons, or some of the main reasons why I believe that Kansas City is such a fantastic city if you are a Bible believer. One of the things that, just to get to know me a little bit better, is I've written a 365-day devotional on encouraging people to read the Bible through in a year. So I did just want to share with you a little bit about my faith and my journey, and let you know that I see the value in inviting God along on the journey of home buying and moving. And until next time, stay hopeful, stay faithful, stay on target with your purpose, and I look forward to talking with you soon.